Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. I've seen this before. Flat. I didn't realize it until I got about halfway through. Then it started coming back to me. That's happened to me before on one of the Transformers movies. Saw it, enjoyed it, and then forgot I ever saw it. But this was a much better experience in 3D. Sometimes there's a 3D movie where the stereo is so good, I cannot contemplate how they even managed to do it as a conversion. The movie is so open and detailed in its stereo, and it does this without hardly ever pushing in the sides of the screen, which you see in a lot of conversions. Often they really shove that in there. Now, the settings help a lot too. They always seem to be in these massive rooms, long hallways, big factories, lots of space and lots of stuff in those spaces. Everything here seems made to look big, and not only does that give the 3D lots of room to play, it also helps make up for some of the shortcomings of 3D. That is, 3D tends to shrink the picture, so stuff that makes the brain think big helps keep it from shrinking it down and giving that dollhouse effect. Now, it's called Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, but for me it lacked the feel of a Fast and Furious movie. It could have been any number of action movies. That isn't to say it's bad, it's not. It's a hell of a fun ride. I just didn't get the Fast and Furious vibe when I watched this. Now, look at this shot. This shot may not seem like much, but I found it to be the most impressive stereo moment. While he walks, the camera twirls around him, and they manage to keep the stereo perfectly, despite all those leaves and grass. In a cheaper movie, they would have just left it flat or compromised on it, and that just shows the level of detail. Also, the faces maintain the depth there. To get that kind of detailed depth on a face, you would usually end up with a background miles apart that would break your eyes to look at it. See Metal Storm for examples of that. Again, the 3D in this movie is just such a treat. I really can't get over it. Now, the movie itself is actually kind of like early Star Wars. It has a superhero warrior dressed in black who's half robot. The Odd Couple, they're kind of like a Luke and Han Solo, and they go on to rescue something of a warrior princess who hardly needs rescuing. And of course, she turns out to be one of the sisters, has a bit of a romance going with the Han Solo figure. And of course, it all ends on an Endor forest planet where they have to resort to primitive weapons to take on the Empire. Though the Death Star is a virus here, which seems to be common theme in movies over the past 10 years. Here, though, it's not intended to kill everyone, just to weed out the weakest people, keep the world strong, which is kind of something of a twist on that kind of theme. Hopefully, it's not playing out in the real world. Ever see the old A-Team TV show? The ending of this movie was kind of like a really big episode of the A-Team. I actually kind of like how they come and start welding all these weapons and cars together. And I'm guessing the writer of this might have had a tow truck in his family or something. They really like tow trucks in this ending. Now, if the 3D wasn't impressive enough, it all wraps up in a great downpour of terrific 3D rain. I used to wonder how they did this, but now I know they just throw rendered stereo rain on top of everything. And my brain is tricked. It works very well. This is, even if you've seen it like I had, this is well worth a second watch in 3D if you ever get the chance. This is just a great, fun movie. I loved it.